Welcome to another edition of Banter and Babble. I am the Dude 79, and joining me, as always, my esteemed colleague, Mr. Fanboy Tone. Mr. Fanboy Tone, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
I'm sober for now.
For now.
That'll
change.
For now. But my man, how you doing? Thanksgiving is come and gone?
Yes, come and gone. I worked 6 days straight. Awesome retail rules, snot.
Man, when I was rolling over sleeping, thinking about how you were at work, I was like, man,
Fuck off.
that sucks.
Whatever.
No, I mean, I know 6 straight days. I know that's not easy in the retail world. Any highlights? Any customers that really just kind of pissed you off?
Nope.
Not one,
It was
huh?
actually pretty smooth for the most part.
Pretty smooth?
I mean, we were just like anywhere else in retail.
Right.
Understaffed, overworked, blah, blah, blah.
Understaffed and overworked. Man,
Correct.
I bet you just love going to work every day with
Typical.
that going on.
Typical.
No, I know that's you and Joey Shinobi. You guys both work in retail. You guys are both always just completely swamped this time of year. And
Oh, yeah.
I gotta say, I don't envy you guys at all.
No, I don't know.
But did you have time to eat? Did you have time to eat?
I did because actually both you and Prime offered to bring me food. Prime did bring me food. You didn't do shit for me, so fuck off.
Yeah, I'm all talk.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a shower. I'm shower, not a grower, or is it grower, not a show? I don't know which one it is. I don't even think that's part of this. That's not even what we're talking about.
No, not right now.
That's really strange. No, I ate a lot though, dude. I ate a lot. Ate a lot of food. Fortunately, my grandma passed away last week, so that kind of threw a wrench into things.
Yeah,
And actually, I understand. One of the guys that we talked to a lot on here, Atomic Pesticide, I think he mentioned something on Twitter today that he lost his grandmother. So I don't know if Atomic's out there. Yeah, there he is. He's in there tonight. Atomic, my thoughts and prayers with you. I'm going through the same thing, buddy. It's never easy when you lose somebody like that, especially like a grandma, somebody who's been around, since I was a little guy. I mean, from memories I don't even have, she was watching me and babysitting me and stuff like that. So grandma was a big part of my life growing up, and she went peacefully. It was one of those things where, for the last year or so, the quality of life just wasn't there. So not having to suffer anymore is a huge plus.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's always a silver lining. You never want to see somebody like that go. But, hey, Atomic, I'm with you. I understand what you're going through. So hang in there. It'll get easier. It'll get better. And, hopefully you got the memories you need of that person, your grandmother, that you can carry on and use those to kind of help you power through it.
That'll help.
Hang in there, buddy. I know it's not an easy thing to deal with. So, but other than that, once we got past that, it actually allowed my dad's side to come over for Thanksgiving and kind of get everyone together under the same roof.
Then.
And we all had to sit there and watch the Lions. I mean, what better way to mourn the loss of a relative than watch the Lions just completely shit the bed for the 11th time this season? I don't even know. Did you know? I know this isn't a sports podcast or a sports show, but one interesting fact: the Detroit Lions, 3-8-1, have led in every single game this year. They have led in every single game, and they were the second team eliminated from the playoffs. Go Lions!
Sell them off, Ford family.
Please, that'd be
Do
fantastic.
something about that.
That'd be fantastic. But, no, I'm glad to see everyone in the chat. I'm glad everyone can make it. Rock Mercury's here. X Chronos is here. Cappadocian's here. Pikachu's here. Always appreciate it. Atomic's in here. Really, really appreciate you guys. There it is. Go Blue.
Clark
Okay.
had a pretty good question about the Winnie the Pooh setup in here. Are we wearing pants? And as Cap said, that's a mystery. We'll never answer.
You'll never know. Until we get the under table cam set up, you'll never know.
Right.
But that's going to be Patreons only.
BNB After Dark.
That's it. Patreons only will get the
Right.
under the table camera access. So maybe if you're lucky. But Tom, what are we drinking tonight, buddy?
Tonight is a new one for me as well, too. I did start it out. I had one earlier this week. It's Black Cherry Porter. I'm a big fan of porters. This is from Shorts Brew.
Shorts Brewery.
Yep, they do a lot of good stuff, honestly. It's definitely heavy like most porters and got that kind of kick. Not overly hopsy, but the black cherry isn't as prevalent as some flavors when you get to that sweeter stuff.
Right, it isn't.
But it's still smooth for a porter.
Very smooth.
And it's a little thick. It's good. It's delicious. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I had a couple the other night, and this was a new one. And anytime I see a new one when I was at Boardwalk again, those guys are getting to know me pretty well, and they're really chatty with me now. He walked over and he's like, "Can I help you? Because I have my hood up." He's like, "Oh, never mind. You don't need help." And then we started talking. Then all of a sudden, I was looking. I just saw this. I saw the Black Cherry Porter stick on. I'm like, "Whoa, that's the one I've never tried." So I'm grabbing.
Yeah, Shorts Brewing Company is fantastic. I actually went up to we go up to Torch Lake every year, and they have a Shorts Brewery up there. There's an actual brewery.
Yeah.
And I go there all the time whenever I go up there with the guys. And my favorite one they have is Soft Parade. The Soft Parade is pretty cool because the reason I like Soft Parade is because of its original name. The original name for Soft Parade before they realized, hey, people bring their kids here to have the pizza, so we can't have panty dropper on the menu.
Oh, I do remember that.
Seriously, Saw Parade used to be called the panty dropper on on their menu, but they ended up having to change it because people brought their kids in for pizza.
Oddly, that was your nickname in high school.
It really was, and it wasn't at all ever, which is odd as well. So,
Lies.
But no, this is really, really good beer. So if you get a chance, check it out. This is called Shorts Brew Black Cherry Porter. Very, very tasty. What's going on? Man, the chat is going crazy tonight.
Yeah, we got
a lot of bumping tonight.
We got Sir Soapy Chicken over there from the UK tonight. He's either at work or half asleep. We don't even really know right now. Beer sucks, in my opinion. Okay,
don't like Poopy does not like the beer. Wow.
No, why don't you like the beer, Poopy?
Yeah, Poopy. What don't you like about it? Or are you just saying it to say it sucks? Be honest. If you're trolling, that's okay.
Clark's also doing the Mike's Hard Lemonade bullshit with me again. He was doing that all night the other night to me. You finished work? Good.
Hey, awesome. Glad to be out of work. That's awesome. Glad you can be here to join us. Hope everyone's having a fine, what is it, Wednesday? Hump day?
Hump day.
Hopefully everyone's having a drink and enjoying their week. All right. We've got a lot of good stuff to talk about this week. A wide variety of games and TV and movies. We got a lot of awesome shit. A lot of stuff. Dude, this week has been bumping in terms of like movies. Lots of good stuff.
Yeah,
lots of good stuff.
Stuff we didn't even realize, I don't think, either.
No.
A
lot of cool shit to talk about. So, first thing we're going to jump into is something that I started watching. And for a while, I was questioning the value of Apple Plus TV.
That's fair.
Apple Plus. I watched C. I couldn't get into C. I'm still trying to watch it, but it's a little goofy. For all there's good performances all around, but I'm still waiting for that one show that gets you kind of got hyped to see, to sign up for Apple Plus TV. We finally have it. Called The Servant. And it's from M. Night Shyamalan. And dude,
which already sounds controversial when you said that.
Yeah.
Just gonna throw it out there as soon as you said that.
Yeah, it's this show will totally fuck with you. It will totally fuck you. It's a really good show. It's confined to this apartment in Philly, like all M. Night movies, always taking place in Philly. But, the trailer does not give you a whole lot of what to expect. But the beauty of the show is, man, the thing I like about it the most is, first of all, the performances are great. It's a very small cast. This young girl, the servant, this girl that comes into this house to help out this couple. The mother there, they lost their baby at birth. And so they have one of these, like, dolls that acts as a replacement to kind of deal with it mentally. Like, she's got a lot going on with the death of her child.
Sure.
So they have this doll here, and you'll see it here, like when he picks it up, you're like, holy shit, that's crazy. It looks like he bangs its head on the crib and everything.
But it's a doll.
It's a doll.
Okay, because that's
creepy.
And
so they bring in a nanny. This little girl is going to be their nanny, and she immediately is like buying into it. Like, no, this baby's fine. It's good to go. And I don't want to give away the biggest like spoiler because at the end of the first episode, you get kind of like an M. Night, oh shit, like really. And now as you get into episode 2 and 3, now the first 3 episodes are out. The reason this show is so good is the performances. It's very creepy, but it's also one of those shows, dude, that kind of like the shows that we like, Game of Thrones and all that stuff.
Right.
A lot of theorizing going on. There's a lot of theories going on out there. Like I said, I can't really get into it because I don't want to spoil it. After the first episode, things get fucking crazy. Crohn's, this is on Apple Plus. This show just dropped on the 28th. The first 3 episodes are out. It'll be out every Friday. Now, my only issue with this show, I wouldn't say it's an issue, it's a concern I have.
Okay.
Are the comments that M. Night made. He said he envisions this show going 6 seasons.
Sounds like M. Night Shyamalan talking about
6 seasons. So that's roughly 60 episodes.
Right.
Now, I don't know how long he can drag this show out, 60 episodes. We have essentially 4 main characters, right, and you're confined to this apartment. I don't know how they're going to be able to drag this out 60 episodes. But I can tell you right now, based on what I've seen through the first couple episodes, it is a thought-provoking show.
Right.
It's very intriguing. It's going to leave you thinking and guessing and trying to figure out what's going to happen next. But the performances are really, really good. Like everybody is brings in their A game. Like everyone's fantastic in this movie or this show. It's really, really good. So if you get a chance, if you've been sitting on the fence with Apple Plus, I highly recommend checking it out just for this show. Watch the first 3 episodes, and if you're hooked on it, you're going to be hooked on it.
Right.
It's just one. It's got that M. Night like DNA running all through it. So many questions, and there's going to be some kind of massive payoff or not. It could be like The Happening and be a terrible movie.
Let's be honest. I mean, he's definitely a controversial director and a writer or whatever you want to say. Like, we can go into that all fuck. We can do a whole show on that guy, honestly. And that's good or bad. I mean, you can take either side of that. But the first thing I noticed, honestly, that I want to take question with is it just me or the little baby kind of look like a young Ronald Weasley?
You know what? That's probably something. I'm gonna hop on Reddit and throw that out there and see if people can start drawing some.
There it is.
Some dots.
There it is. That's all I took from that fucking thing.
That's an interesting point. But no, seriously, if you guys are into like not like a whodunit, but just a mystery thriller.
Is that kind of so? It's mystery thriller.
Yeah,
it's kind of creepy. Clearly,
yeah. So, I'm not saying it's not scary, but it is very creepy. You can tell there's thriller elements. There's a lot of weird shit going on, and like I said, it does a great job of like just. right. No, it's really, really good, you guys. So if you have been watching it, if you have checked it out, let us know in the comments if you haven't watched yet. When this pops up on YouTube, sound off in the comments. We want to get your thoughts on the show. I think it's great. I think it's really, really good. This thing could fall apart. It could be like I said. It could be like any other M. Night movie that hasn't done well. This thing could fall apart after the next couple episodes. But right now. I want to get into it. I really want to get into it, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody because, like I said, once the first episode ends, the reveal at the end, you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then the next couple episodes, you're just like, that's when you really start piecing things together. Like, what? Who is this girl? There's a revelation. There's a reveal towards the end of episode 3 where you're like, oh, wow. Okay. So now I don't know about this chick.
I'm intrigued.
It is very, very good. And for Apple Plus, I think it's like $4.99 or $7.99.
Really? So I can borrow your password?
Yes, you can. Absolutely
Good.
can.
I'm
going to put it in the chat right now.
That.
First 20 that use it before I
Thanks,
get
buddy.
banned can watch it. But no, it's really, really cool, you guys. Definitely give it a look-see. Give it a check out. Check it out. It's actually really, really good. I think it's probably the best show that's on Apple Plus right now. There's a couple I haven't seen yet, but this one is really, really good. Now, we're going to jump over to Mandalorian.
See you, Soap.
We got to talk a little bit. Hey, good night, Soap. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to talk a little bit about Mandalorian. Now, this was episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
This is an episode that I think is a little polarizing. The first 3 were so good. And then we had, hey, where'd he go? Oh, yeah, there he is. I forgot. There he is. So, yeah, episode 4. I want to get your thoughts on it first because I know you actually you kind of really enjoyed this.
I liked it. I know your thoughts on it. And I guess I didn't look at it like that. I didn't realize how many episodes.
And that's okay. I want to know what you like about it, though.
I liked it because let's be right out the gate a bit about it. When I saw the Lego set a few months ago of that painted ATST, I about shit my pants.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm always ready to shit my pants, but that actually almost made me shit my pants. Like, I saw because I love ATSTs. It's one of my favorite things about generally of anything Star Wars, especially Imperial stuff and like. Their vehicles or what do you want to say? Walkers, chicken walker, some people always call it. But so I had forgotten about that being in the show. And then when it showed up, I about like jumped up out of my seat. And I'm doing that with the show anyways because it's so like engaging for me. When I saw that too, and I was like, man, that was so tight. But I felt like it was I get what they're doing with it. Like, it was crazy that Bryce Dallas Howard was the one that directed that. I didn't realize that. I knew she was doing one of the shows this season, but it was her dad that put Solo back on track, and I'm a big fan of Solo. I love that movie, so it was cool to have her involved in it. And yeah, the more I look back on it now, like it seems like a generic story. Like they go back to the Seven Samurai kind of. It's a story that's not new, right? But it didn't affect my pacing of it because at the end it kind of came full circle for the reason, I guess, to a degree why. And it was a good way to introduce Cara Dune as well too,
right,
played by Gina Carano, who is amazing.
She's a badass.
I think she needs more words, maybe more than anything. But overall, I liked it. You were a little polarized on the actual pacing because you felt like it.
Yeah, when he taken like here was my issue with it, and again, it was a good episode. I thought it was entertaining. I want to get over to Rock Mercury's question. He actually said, and I'll touch on this in a second. But I remember the question. My initial thoughts on it though was like we saw so much in the first 3 episodes building up the Mandalorian as a character and creating the mystery behind Baby Yoda and trying to figure out why is everyone going for Baby Yoda and what have you. And then we kind of get into this. We get into this episode, which kind of felt like an episode of the A-Team, where they just show up. Right, you know what I'm saying. But I mean, like they show up and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna help these people out."
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I mean, if that's the premise of the show for going forward, is going to be bouncing around the galaxy and helping out people in need, I'm cool with that. My only problem is there's only 8 episodes this season.
Yeah, which was a good point.
We only have 8 episodes, and when I think about that, I'm just like, I would really like to dive deeper into the Yoda stuff, and figure out and focus more on the overarching story that they built up in the first 3 episodes. But going back to what you said, we kind of get a little more depth with the Mandalorian, and we also find out that they do a good point of getting the point across that, hey, look, they're coming across all lengths of the galaxy to kill Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
So that was like the thing that the point you made. I was like, okay, yeah, that's actually really interesting because it is something they need to focus on, and that is a point that is made throughout a whole episode. I want to go back to Rock's question. He asked, do you think the woman in the village, the one that kind of grows attached to the Mandalorian, is she a former stormtrooper? Which is a great question
that
because
has come up in some circles. Yeah, that had come up in some circles. I don't recall whether or not anything was confirmed or what they thought about her. I think, as a matter of fact, him and me were talking about it. Something about her. At first I thought he meant Akara, but she was a rebel shock trooper.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good question. Like, yeah, she had no problem picking it up.
Oh,
was she a former stormtrooper or something? I guess that's possible. Like, it makes kind of sense. Like,
it makes sense because she's gone to the far edge of the galaxy to get away from everything. Maybe she's not proud of what she had done prior to.
Maybe, and if there's Imperial stuff left over on this actual planet, yeah, I know who you are, you butthead. Like, it's possible that she could have been involved with that. I don't know. Like, who knows how they got it? Maybe they got it off world or whatever, but themselves. But yeah, maybe she could have been a rebel. Who knows? I think that's part of the fun of it, I suppose, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's that mystery,
and it might just be a mystery forever. We might never know the answer to that question,
and you never know. That could be a character that comes back somewhere down the line to help out Mando. We have no idea. He might return back to this planet at some point.
Yeah,
like I said, the building up bridges. That they'll visit in upcoming seasons. That's a character we might have.
I want more of Cara Dune. I really do. I think she's.
That was weird how they kind of just she just kind of went her own separate way, and that was
but I think she'll come back around. It's kind of a Star Wars thing, though. Like, it's always about some form of either redemption or the opposite of,
right?
And characters coming back around and stuff like that. I think that's part of the allure of it, But hopefully she comes back. I definitely wanted her to hang out and be like, oh, I'll be co-pilot. Like, I'll nurture the baby and let it suckle on her breast or something. But whatever.
I would pay to see that.
Saying.
I would pay to see it. No, it was a decent episode. Yeah. Just in terms of like the overarching story, I felt it was it was lacking in that regard.
Right.
But like I said, if the premise behind the show is to make it a planet hopping, help everybody out type of thing, and Mando and the Baby Yoda are gonna team up and work together,
right?
That's cool.
That's cool too.
That's cool. But I feel like you need more than 8 episodes to carry out that type of show when you've set up this kind of like story arcs with baby Yoda and trying to figure out why.
And he's right. Rohit's right. It's possible that she could come back at the end for like how Han shows up at the fucking trench in A New Hope.
Yep, that's very
Maybe
true.
She comes in and saves the day.
Start planting seeds to kind of let them grow as characters over the course of the series, and you never know. Rock said, I think he'll get everyone together at the end. Yep. What did Prime say? That one episode could have been the premise of a whole season. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. What's up, Prime? How you doing tonight, buddy?
He's tired.
He is tired. He's up way past his bedtime.
Yeah.
He's up way past his bedtime.
Bib and he's eating like applesauce.
There it is. All Z's, baby. Yeah. But overall, I mean, what's your thoughts on the season so far? I mean,
I love it.
I know you wanted to talk. We didn't talk about the 3rd episode. There was some stuff that you liked about the 3rd episode.
Yeah, like
I'm gonna talk about that for just a moment.
Okay, so everybody probably saw on my social media the action figure I bought of I call him Thick Boy.
Thick Boy, yep.
Thick Boy. Or as some people were calling him Ham for heavy assault Mandalorian, but it's actually heavy infantry Mandalorian is the name on the box of it. But that character, I can't think of the name offhand. I know Rock will know it right off the bat, but is the grandson potentially of another character from the Clone Wars, Clone Wars, which is cool because Jon Favreau voices that character. And
really?
Yes.
Was that Jon Favreau?
Yes, he voiced the character in the series, and he voiced the character of who theoretically could be his grandfather in Clone Wars. So that's why people think there's a link there. He didn't play him physically, he didn't put on the suit, but pretty tight either way. But that one was dope because a lot of people that know me when it comes to Star Wars, some of my favorite stuff is bounty hunters, clearly Boba Fett, Mandalorians just in general, things like that. So at the end of that, when they came popping up out of nowhere, and you're seeing jetpacks all over, like
that was sweet.
Holy shit! And then he busts out with this sweet cannon, he's just tearing shit up, like motherfucker. Like we watch, I always get hype even in the theaters or when I'm watching stuff with the wife. She knows probably now at this point that I'm about to like like an explosion. Like I get really hype. I get very animated about my hype, especially when it comes to Star Wars. So I jumped out of my seat. I was like doing the I done it or whatever it is from fucking Dreamcatcher, you know, freaking out. So pretty great. It's awesome. That episode was dope. It was not what I expected, but it was something I probably always had hoped. And the only time you see that really is in like Clone Wars, Rebels, and shit.
I thought maybe Carl Weathers was stalling a little bit towards the end.
I was kind of hoping that he was going to be involved in the.
I thought maybe he'd hop on the ship and he'd be there. And when he comes onto the ship and Carl Weathers is there, what's his name? What's his character's name?
Carl Weathers.
Wow, it's that awesome. We're like, hey, we're just going to call you Carl.
Yeah.
But when he was on the ship, I was like, oh, sweet, cool. He's gonna be like, all right, let's get out of here. Like he was stalling for him, but no, he legitimately was out to kill Mando. So, but overall, though, I mean, it's a show that I've really enjoyed. Dude, my kid Ethan, he is down here every Saturday now when we all get together and watch it. Dude, normally he's in bed early. The wife and we come down here, and he's like, he's locked in.
That's awesome.
He's locked in.
Future Star Wars fans there.
Oh, he loves that. Baby Yoda. I think everybody. Is there anybody that doesn't like Baby Yoda other than Prime? Because Prime's an asshole.
Yeah, Nazis.
Oh, there you go. I guess that fits just well. But no, I think the Baby Yoda pop figures, didn't those just sell out? I think they were just
they announced them yesterday. I think Funko did. I don't even know if they even started.
They're up for pre-orders.
Yeah, are they really?
Yeah, they're up for pre-orders, and I'm pretty sure they're probably close to being sold out already. You should get one.
Tone's gonna have to get one.
Tone's gonna have to. Yeah, I know Tone's gonna make it happen too. So, but no, really like what we've seen from Mandalorian so far. Like I said, this one episode was just kind of a little bit different. I don't want to say it was a one-off, but it just seemed like it was a little bit different pacing than what we've seen from the previous.
That's fair.
Good action though. Yeah, there's some good actions. And
finally got
some who mentioned it? Yeah, P.S. I love you said those Red Walker eyes coming out of the forest. Dude. When it was walking through the forest at night, that was creepy as fuck.
Dude,
that was pretty creepy.
Even the wife was like, "Is that sentient?" I'm like, "No, they just got some backlight in there for creepiness." So
it was very creepy.
It was awesome.
It was really creepy.
It's too bad you didn't see it during the day because the actual painting, it's got like red and black. It's got you can kind of see the skull, but it's got like almost like zebra painting on its legs and stuff. So when you see the Lego set, you actually get a good look at it.
Oh man, yeah, that's hot, dude. All right, so Mandalorian. Now we're gonna hop over to. We're gonna keep it on Star Wars. We're gonna keep it on Star Wars because we got to talk a little bit about Fallen Order because you beat it.
Yes, I
have finished your first Souls-like game.
Yes, I have.
You have. Yes. You finished Fallen Order. Now we're gonna avoid spoilers because you said the ending is pretty hype. Like it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But overall, man, I mean, you started off high in that game. Even when you got your ass kicked by the frog, you were pissed, but you still were high on it, and it finished at an all-time high. Thoughts? Just your general thoughts on Fallen Order. Must play?
Yeah, it's a must-play game. It definitely is. Like, play the combat, whatever level setting you want, but play it for the story, if anything. I played it for clearly the story, but I also get really obsessive into that Prime style gameplay that you know, I can't go here until I get a new power, and then I'm not following the story. I'm going back to that planet now. I can go that way and see what I can get, upgrade. So I probably won't go through and try to 100% it. I don't usually do that games. I'm playing so much in my backlog so bad, but you have to play this game if you're a Star Wars fan, and any ounce of you have to play it. The story was dope. I did not break any controllers, Pikachu, but I tell you, I fucking came real close. But after that, like, I'll be honest with you, I probably never even got an ounce of proficient with that combat. I even feel like the double-ended lightsaber was a bitch to use. I just pretty much used the singular. And, like, crowd control in that game, like, there were options you could do to do it, but it was not fucking easy for me. I couldn't do it.
Right.
That wasn't me. That's not my kind of gameplay. But I still enjoyed it, and I kept plugging through it because I wanted to get to that story. And then you get through the story, and there's some cool reveals. You're like, oh man, it's a cool callback. There's this, and there's even some mystery and some stuff too. Dathomir's got some interesting arcs that I didn't really fully see, and still kind of like, it's kind of weird they went that way, but it works because Star Wars is always about redemption. But then you get to the fucking ending of this game, and in the last 10 minutes, I'm fucking harder than a rhino, like on fucking mating day. Like I'm sitting there going, I'm ready to plug through my TV. I'm so hype. Like I couldn't fucking believe it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Yeah, move over. He's a double-ended dilly. Exactly. Yeah.
Man, it's getting hot in here.
Right.
I can feel the heat.
But yeah, no, but it is. It's that hype. It was one of the awesome, most hype endings to we'll just at least say Star Wars video games, because like if you're familiar with a lot of Star Wars stuff, like there's certain things and people or tiebacks or callbacks or however you want to say it can just do that. And Star Wars is one of those. And man, oh man, it did not disappoint. And it was something that I honestly, in the back of my head, hoped for and wanted. And by the time I got to the end of the game, I didn't really forget it, but I just didn't think it was really going to happen. And when it did,
Damn it! Like I want to try to. I want to.
Holy shit!
Yeah. See. Yeah. P.S. I love you. You said you could say I lost my
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was talking about it too. He lost his shit too. Like, yeah. Anybody that's beaten it, like I know Rock did. I know Prime did. Like everybody's like, holy goddamn shit at the end. Like.
I'm trying to figure out how I can ask a question about the ending without.
Okay.
Is there any way you could dance around and kind of give me a hint?
We'll try.
At what the big revelation is? Like is first of all, does this set up a sequel? Is it wide open, or do you feel is this like a self-contained story that you feel like?
No, I mean you could clearly. I mean that time frame. It's you still have.
If anyone's going to get a sequel out of it,
years before New Hope, you still have. You could. They could do another sequel easily. Yeah. Absolutely. And it might not have to be Cal. That's just it. Like maybe he passes the baton, lightsaber, whatever you want to say, to somebody else, or he says just spoil it, right? Yeah.
Just spoil it.
Spoil it. Just fucking spoil it. Yeah, just fucking spoil it. No, but. It's open enough, I think. Like, and that's just anything. I think with Star Wars too. It's like some of those mythos just kind of have this revolving door on that shit.
Right.
You could totally do it. I mean, I want more. I mean, I probably put more hours into it than most people did, but I'm a nook and cranny hunter because I play games usually once. I don't go back too often, so I got my worth out of it for sure. And it's something I may go back and play again. I don't fucking know, but you got to play it. Everybody's got to play it. Everybody's got to beat it just because it's worth 20 hours just for 10 minutes of the ending. I fucking am not kidding you on that.
Really?
I'm dead serious.
Pretty just is a lot of action? Is it just, or is it more the story unfolds that blows your mind? Or
the last battle definitely can be challenging, and then I figured something. It took me like probably a half hour. I'll be honest, and like probably 20 fucking deaths, and then you just realize, just
learn the pattern of the enemy and whatnot.
Not that also, but just one of your powers. Oh, that works. Awesome. And that changed everything. And literally, like the first time I figured out, I died one more time. The next time came back, beat the boss, and then stuff started coming apart together. What do you want to say? And you're shitting your pants. It's like
okay. And so I'm assuming everything opens up. Everything opens up at the end where you can still go back and, like you said, go 100%.
Yeah. Matter of fact, it's almost like it just says, hey, your save is right before that battle, but now you're open to go back and do that stuff. If you want to then beat it again, you're cool.
Okay. All right.
So, yep.
Yeah, I have to get back in there and play that game because I've really enjoyed it. It's just things got crazy with the holiday and with Grandma and stuff like that. But I definitely I'm going to make a point to get back and finish that because, like I said, that's the first time. Like I mentioned in the last show, this is the first time I played one of these games where I do not give a shit about my pride, and I will make this the easiest fucking game in the world to play just so I can get through the story. Yeah. You know, if I struggle with the difficulty I'm on now, I'm going down to like the kid mode where it's just like literally the enemies will run away from you, and it's just like okay, that's all I really want. I just want the story. So
Clark, we ruined episode 4 for him. What the fuck, man? Cancel your Disney Plus? Well,
oh wow, already canceled your Disney Plus. Good lord!
I'm glad I got you in here for the show, though. Nice seeing you. Never again.
Thanks for that view.
He doesn't hang out with me anymore in streams.
I wouldn't either. You're kind of a dick. So yeah, so that's his thoughts on Fallen Order. I definitely want to check it out. I can't really talk about it because I'm way behind now. I'm way behind now. I'm at the point where you first show up and you see Saw Gerrera again. That's where I'm at. That awesome scene with the AT-ATs. You know, shit, did I just spoil that too?
Oh, was that spoiled too for you?
Oh fuck! I am so sorry. Okay, moving on. I'm moving on to the next story, and that is my baby.
Uh-oh.
Yep, we got to talk a little bit about Destiny 2.
Get a little talking here.
We got the big reveal today for Season of Dawn, and this is the new season coming to Destiny 2. It drops on Tuesday. Really like what I saw from the reveal.
And they're really making that fantasy hype get big too. That fantasy's getting really fantasy. That's awesome. That's dope. Like the wings and shit and the helmet and stuff.
This is on Mercury, and this shit's gonna be really crazy. Like this looks really really good. Mm-hmm. There's some stuff that I'm hoping they learn from the last season of the Undying, particularly with the Vex Offensive. They had this mode that they built up all this stuff. I mean, there was stuff in the tower going on. Ikora was like, I need these parts to build this portal, this Vex portal. And every week the portal was getting built more and more behind her. So you're like, man, what the fuck is going on? They got this huge portal building behind her. And all it does is it changes the final boss of the Vex Offensive you've been running 100 times since the start of the season. All of a sudden they replaced the enemy with like the Undying Mind, which is sweet because it's a memorable character, a memorable enemy that you fought before. But it was just kind of like this. It was a little empty. Yes, Sundial looks fucking sweet because this is basically kind of like the Menagerie. There was another something that came out a couple months ago called the Menagerie, and that was a really fun mode. And this is gonna be very similar multiple rounds. The bosses are going to shift in and out every week. It's going to be a different battle every time.
Right there.
Yeah, that's the actual mission. But there's like this huge thing spinning in the middle of the map, and then as that's spinning, it's opening up different portals to different timelines. And you have to run into these portals to battle enemies and then come back and go through another one until you get to the final boss. But no, they've got some cool changes coming. Obviously, you saw they got new finishers coming in here. We've got new weapons. I think that's a scout rifle. That thing looks fucking sweet. But lots of good stuff coming in this season. But like I said, I hope the overall, we got to see what's his name?
Iron Man.
It is not Iron Man. That is Saint 14, a very iconic character in the lore of Destiny. He was relegated to Grimoire cards in the first one, but they built up a lot of story behind Saint 14. He is considered the greatest Titan of all time. We got to hear from him, so we're going to get a chance to...
yeah.
Shut up, Clark. I'm not going to spoil it for you. But let's see. He says, I think the season will be lighter, but thank God I need time to play other games. Well, here's the plus side, too, PS. Obviously, the first season, that last season, Season of the Undying, they delayed the release. So we only basically had 2 months with that season to get through everything. But now this will be a proper 3-month release. So now we won't have to worry about rushing everything into 2 months. So you'll have a lot more time to get through the season pass. But no, there's a lot of cool stuff. Like I said, we get to see Osiris. I'm really interested in the Saint 14 stuff, though. There's some other stuff that showed up on the schedule with these obelisks that are showing up on different planets, and I think those are going to be tied to actually finding a way to save Saint 14. This is a character that dies, and Osiris holds a lot of that on himself. But we might have an opportunity to go back.
Do they play with time in this series?
Oh, there's a ton of time in this one. Yeah, there's a lot of time, like
Sundial.
A lot of alternate timelines. The Cabal are trying to change the timeline where they win because the Cabal obviously lost in the Red War, so now they're fucking with the timelines and all that stuff with the Sundial.
So you could theoretically almost change it so Activision never had control of Bungie.
That's honestly, and if we find that one, let's keep it there. Saint 14's lore is really interesting. We go back in time and give him his signature shotgun, the Paradox. Yes,
so he could end up living then.
Yeah, that's the thing, because on the schedule it shows 2 obelisks at launch, 2 obelisks like a couple weeks later, and then the final mission it literally says save 14. So I'm assuming we're going to go in and try to save Saint 14, and whether or not he's going to have some kind of integral part in Destiny going forward, I don't know. But a lot of people are really excited about this because it is Saint 14. Like it's a huge character that's been stuck in lore, but now he's being brought to the forefront, and we can kind of.
And hopefully they do that with more of the Grimoire cards, or are they kind of doing that now?
That's what they're kind of doing now, because like I said, he was mostly big in Grimoire cards, but now they're bringing him into the game where we can actually have a chance to interact and save him. So, what Pikachu say? How about back in time to make Destiny 9? Oh, grow up, Pikachu. Yeah, don't go. How do you ban hammer somebody?
Easy as click ban.
Oh, okay, there we go. No, I'm just joking. I love Pikachu. No, I said, when it comes to Destiny, I understand the criticisms. I'm one of the, I love Destiny, but I will also sit there and listen to every argument because a lot of them are valid. Sure, there are some people who just hate it just to hate it, and that's the cool thing to do, and it's whatever. But when I understand a lot of the complaints people had with the original Destiny, and I feel like Bungie has slowly made progress at writing the ship and making it a game that hardcore fans can appreciate.
It's clear they've grabbed the helm. I mean, we knew they're going to grab the wheel and the helm and everything, but it's clear that it's turning.
Yeah, it's slowly getting to where they need to be, and they're figuring out this season stuff. And whether or not we'll ever, we kind of talked about this before the show. Call of Duties and all these games. Why they're putting so much into Call of Duty? Why do they have to release one every single year? And we talked about how these could be platforms going forward. I don't even know if we're going to see a Destiny 3. The way these season passes are working, the way these seasons are working, how Bungie views this happening, this could just stay Destiny going forward.
I mean, that's fine.
And I have no problems with this.
Right.
I don't have any problems with
this. WoW does it. MMOs do it. They're calling it basically an MMO now.
I mean, they're not shying away from that MMO. But before they used to be like, no, it's not an MMO, even though it's basically an MMO. So now they're kind of embracing that. So I won't be surprised, if we don't see a Destiny 3. Do I think there will be? Sure, probably at some point, but I would not be surprised if they just continue to iterate upon Destiny 2 every 3 months. Maybe a big update in the fall like they usually do with Shadowkeeper Forsaken.
Out.
Yep,
work on Destiny 3.
That's coming to next gen systems. But no, I'm really excited about it. Like I said, there's a lot of cool looking guns. I'm really excited to explore the story and find a way to save Saint 14. Cronzo thinks, I think we will. I hope so. I was a diehard Destiny 1 and fell off from 2, and now I feel like I waited too long to get back in. Not at all, dude. Not at all. There's so many, like if you jump in now with Dying Light, you can, or not Dying Light, Jesus. What's the, I don't even know what the new mode is.
With Dying Light, though, too.
With Dying Light, yeah. There's a new light or something like that you could jump into right now, and it'll get you pulled up to where we're at, and you can do everything with everybody. I feel that's the biggest thing right now is you are not going to be left behind. If you jump in now, you're going to be right up to where you need to be. You'll be able to do all the stuff with us. New Light, there you go. Not Dying Light.
Tempting.
New Light.
I've always been tempted myself to get back in.
I would love to see more people get into it. Yeah, it's easier than ever to get started. Just like PS I Love You said, man. It's really the best time to get in if you've been away for a while. Jump in, dude. Get in there. Like I said, New Light is free to play. Download it, check it out, and if you like what you see, start picking up the season passes. It's the best way to get into it. So, what about not having a ton of the legendaries? I guess I don't understand that question. What is my cat dying?
I gotta bring it up because I'm biting my tongue over here.
I know
it sounds like your cat is like in legit serious heat. Like
honestly,
I don't know. Like your cat is meowing so hard right now.
I know.
I don't know if you guys can hear the cat.
She's going hard right now.
This is awesome.
No, she's probably dying. She's old as fuck. She's old as fuck, and if she doesn't get 2 bowls of food every night, she gets super pissy. So I'm trying to keep up with these questions here. Exotics. What about not having a ton of the exotics? It's not going to change anything. A lot of the legendary weapons are just as good. You'll be able to do a lot of the times. I have a lot of the exotics. I have most of them. There's times, man, where I'm just running all legendaries because some of them are so good, especially the pinnacle ones like Breakneck, or if you have Loaded Question and Hammerhead. Those are all legendary weapons. Sometimes I just roll with that because the way they all work off of each other. The Recluse, for example, is another good one that you can have. Once in a while, I'll have like an exotic in there, like a grenade launcher or a rocket launcher, but you don't have to have exotics to compete, dude. You really don't have to.
I'm telling you, this cat shit's got me going.
I know, dude. I'm sitting here listening.
I'm
about
to lose my shit. I'm
dying right now.
I'm gonna pee
She's
my
very
pants
vocal.
laughing, so
she's most displeased because she doesn't get a third bowl of food right now.
Right.
So
like all cats, clearly.
I know, man. Seriously, she's just meowing like crazy.
You got Clark. So Clark says I apparently put him in heat. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks for putting my cat in heat.
Right.
Oh,
I put him in heat.
Oh, you got him in heat.
I put him in heat.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I know. And then apparently Evan Fire said that the Mercury sky in Destiny is actually inaccurate to scientifically real world Mercury. So
okay.
Just want to throw it out there. Let's
how do I
him.
Ban him now, along with Pikachu. Put them both.
But
in
he's right though
out.
too. Like they're doing the catch-up mechanics now, like Warcraft, like in a very smaller term. That's kind of that is what we were kind of saying. Like these games are like. Can be more platforms, and looks like hopefully
Bungie knows they don't want to separate the community. They don't want to have people feel like I can't catch up and play with my friends. No, you can absolutely get in there, start playing right away, get involved in everything. So don't sweat that. Don't worry about that.
Sure.
Destiny would be.
Hey, March did make it. I only told
March.
her.
There she is. What's going on, March? How you doing?
What up?
All right. So.
Yes.
Got the game stuff out of the way.
Yep.
Now, there was some wild shit that went down this week in terms of trailers.
Holy crap, no kidding.
The first one we're going to talk about is something that I'm really excited about, and that is No Time to Die, Mr. Bond. This trailer was fucking lit.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Daniel Craig's final...
Great actor.
Final appearance as Bond. This is No Time to Die. It comes out in April. And this trailer was fucking fire, dude. Like, I've seen all of the Bond trailers. This is by far the best one. It is so good. It's so well put together. It's cut perfectly. I'm excited for it. You get to see a lot of the returning characters, not only from like the Skyfall and Spectre, but I mean, look, you got Felix Leiter coming back. He was in Casino Royale.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
I can't remember what the guy's last name is. Jeffrey something.
Yeah, it's Jeffrey something.
Jeffrey something. If anyone knows, it is chat. But and this girl, her name escapes me. She's in Captain Marvel. She is Captain Marvel's friend that she goes back and visits.
Oh, it's God, yeah, I can't think of her name. Oh, yeah.
I mean, just an awesome cast. And then obviously, this scene right here is great. I don't know if you guys have seen this trailer. Like James Bond has been away for a while, and so they call him back, and like he walks up to that guy, and he's like, the guy's like name, and he's like Bond, and the guy looks up like. And you are
right.
Just the way he's like James Bond. It's a cool play because normally when he says it, he's very confident. He's got this sword like Bond, James Bond.
Right.
This one he's kind of like irritated, like what the fuck, man? I'm a made man. He got Christoph Waltz is back as I think is it Belrod?
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright. There you go. Yep, there you go. Jeffrey Wright. You got Christoph Waltz back. I mean, this trailer was so cool because it brought back so many characters from all the last couple movies. Yeah. So it's kind of like tying everything together. It looks really, 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 really good. Excited for this to come out. Now, we talked a little bit earlier this week about Bond. And first of all, oh my gosh, the villain in this movie. You get yourself an Oscar-winning actor.
Yeah.
What's it, Rami Malek?
Yes.
Yeah. This guy, he plays the villain, which I completely forgot about when I saw the trailer. When he's talking, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And you're like, oh my God, Freddie Mercury?
Dude.
Really?
Such a good actor.
Yeah. I mean, just a fantastic cast. I mean, this thing, and that girl was in Blade Runner. This stunt
Anna
right here,
Medas.
that stunt right there, oh my God, that shit was
It's
hype.
the car that gives me the biggest boner in
this
one,
scene
dude.
right here, yeah.
Jesus.
I
love classic
I like his
cars
look
like
right here.
this.
Look at his look. Like, oh, we ain't in trouble, girl.
Oh, man.
We good.
That's very Bond. Like,
that is Bond through and through.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
like,
that's Q working his magic and puts 2 miniguns in an Aston Martin. I mean, that's really...
Dude, that looks so cool.
Yeah, really, really excited for this, to check this out. Cannot wait. People think it might be Dr. No.
Well, now, I don't want to get too far off sidetrack, but this version of Bond, isn't this tied to somehow to Sean Connery's, like a younger version of him, or am I crazy on that?
If it is, I am not aware of that.
Because I thought that there was something about, like, I know his version of Bond is supposed to be kind of like in shades of the Sean Connery style of Bond, and I can totally see it in everything. I mean, he looks almost like almost like a young Sean Connery or like a cousin or something, right? Like, so, I just don't know if there's any connection, any of that. I don't really know a lot about Bond. I've seen a lot about Bonds. I grew up with the 90s Bonds and honestly a lot of Sean Connery Bonds too.
If I were to say anything, we talked about this earlier as well, is so how many
540.3.
So how many 007 movies are? I believe there's 25. I think roughly. Maybe 26 if you count the odd one.
I'm making shit up right now. Absolutely. Fuck it.
Pretty sure Fanboy is making shit up right now. No, I don't know if there's any connection with Sean Connery, but I will say that I would say he's kind of like he has some Sean Connery to him.
That's kind of
to the way he brings Bond to the scene. But you and I talked about earlier when Casino Royale came out. Daniel Craig was the new Bond, and we're like, and then you watch the movie, and immediately you and I were like, this was an answer to the Bourne movies. Because we had Jason Bourne come out, Matt Damon had this new spy who was more of an edgy fighter. He's kind of a badass, and so they needed something new. Obviously, Pierce Brosnan couldn't do like this type of stuff, so they had to bring in somebody more athletic, somebody more like Daniel Craig. And when he showed up, then all of a sudden it kind of so he has the more physical Bond, but he does have some of that Sean Connery to him. I would say, he's got some of that swagger.
That's a great word for it.
He's got some of that swagger. So I'm a big fan of what Daniel Craig has done. But we look at these movies. The way Bond has evolved over the years. I mean, you go from Sean Connery, who was iconic, and then you go to Roger Moore, who was more kind of campy. Especially towards the end, I couldn't stand a lot of the Roger Moore stuff. I'm actually not.
A lot of people aren't fans.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan, even though he had a huge following.
Yeah,
he had a huge following. I was not a big fan of the Roger Moore interpretation of Bond. And then after that, not a lot of people give Timothy Dalton enough credit. The Living Daylights and License to Kill were really interesting Bond movies because they were much darker and more violent than previous Bonds. It was like a different take on the Bond genre. Right. And then when they came about doing the third one, they were going to do a third one with Timothy Dalton. They kind of put things on hold a little bit. There was some issues going on with the studio. They didn't really care for how Bond had been interpreted in the last 2 movies. And that's why we had that 6-year hiatus. And then they brought in Pierce Brosnan. And then he kind of had his own take on it. And I like Pierce Brosnan.
They're very video gamey and campy as shit to a degree.
Yep.
And over the top. But I like that shit. Like,
I thought Pierce Brosnan had Bond in a good spot. And then everyone had questions. Can Daniel Craig really be Bond? Yes, he can.
Yeah.
But then you look at like the Bourne movies. I feel like the Bourne movies kind of set that precedence to kind of force Bond to make that move from Pierce Brosnan to somebody like Daniel Craig because Bourne was so fucking cool. Bourne was badass. Bourne could go into a room with a fucking magazine, roll it up, and whoop everyone's ass.
It's dope.
He just had
believable, oddly too.
Oh, very believable. And then you kind of saw the Mission Impossible movies, the way those evolved, where it was mostly the focus on Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible 1 and Mission Impossible 2.
Very espionage in 1 compared. They lost touch of some of that espionage side.
But then they kind of went more towards the team oriented,
which is real Mission Impossible.
Much more Mission Impossible. And that series has evolved so much, and I think it's at its best right now. I mean, Fallout was fucking incredible. I know you haven't seen it yet. Mission Impossible Fallout was fucking awesome.
Someday.
Really, really good movie. Those are really good. But it's just cool to watch these three. I would say these are like the big three spy franchises.
Yeah.
And you kind of see them all playing off. Yes, P.S. I Love You. The last two were really good. What was it? Ghost Protocol, Fallout, and then what was the other one that was in there? The last three I'd say were really good. There's Ghost Protocol, Fallout, and the other one's gonna escape me, but I know he knows. Chrono, yeah, Matt Damon was awesome. I did. The only one I didn't really care for was the last one, Jason Bourne. It was good.
Is that when he came back?
Yeah, that's when he came back. They brought Paul Greengrass back. They brought the director back from the other ones. Yep, Rogue Nation. There you go. But yeah, they brought in Paul Greengrass, who directed. I think it was Supremacy and Ultimatum. Really good director, really, really good director. And I remember them, but before they got to work on Jason Bourne, somebody asked Matt Damon, would you ever come back? And he said, only if Paul Greengrass came back.
Okay.
And so when they got Paul Greengrass, that's how they got Matt Damon on board. I felt it was a decent movie. It was good, but I didn't feel like it had the same magic as Supremacy or even Ultimatum. I mean, Ultimatum was fucking sweet.
Yeah, I'm a little behind on a lot of these type of franchises.
Oh, man, you got to get caught up on them.
I started working on Mission Impossible, and I just haven't gotten caught up.
But yeah, I would agree with P.S. I Love You. The last three Mission Impossibles, Rogue Nation, Ghost Protocol, and Fallout are fucking amazing. Yeah,
that's what everybody's been saying.
Please don't forget the spy franchise, The Fast and the Furious.
Right.
Yeah, I just call that Wile E. Coyote. That's all. Whenever I see those movies, I'm just like, okay,
great money. They're big popcorn.
Oh yeah. I can't talk shit. They make
crazy.
A lot of money.
No, it's just it's weird to think. It is. I do want to say one thing there. Call back Prime. He said something earlier. I want to do this for Prime. Prime, this is for you. I am the last one.
Oh, I am the last one. Was that your Sean Connery?
Yes, it certainly was.
Things don't react well to bullets. All right. So, yeah, big fan of what we saw today. I am really excited. You and I are definitely going to go see this when it comes out. This looks like a proper send-off for Daniel Craig. This will be his last go.
And I will be caught up.
As James. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You got to get caught up on that. But, the Spectre, Skyfall is still my favorite. I know there's a lot of people that think feel that Casino Royale is their favorite of all the Daniel Craig movies. But for my money, Skyfall was amazing. Spectre was kind of a step back. But this looks like, all in. You got A-list actors. It looks like Daniel Craig's giving it his all. That's typically what happens with these guys. They get tired of these roles, but when they're like, hey, look, this is your last go. This is your last chance at Bond. He's going to bring his A game. He's got the talent around him. This looks really fucking good.
Your cat is horny.
I know, seriously. I'm actually gonna open the door here in a second to let her in because she's seriously annoying the shit out of me. I hope you guys and girls can't hear her, but all right.
I hope you can.
I hope you can because she's seriously going nuts.
Horny.
So moving on from this was the other big trailer that I don't. Did anyone even talk about this trailer coming out?
I don't know. Honestly, like maybe people expected or maybe not. I don't know. I didn't have any pulse on this at all. And
I had none.
It came out today out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
We're going to talk a little Black Widow.
Keep that spy and espionage goodness.
Black Widow. And this trailer was fucking sweet.
Yep.
This trailer was really, really good. And I want to get your thoughts on it first. I want to get your thoughts on what we saw. I know there was something that you have kind of an issue, a small issue with.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that. But I want to get your overall thoughts on what we saw from the Black Widow trailer.
So, first of all, like in the theme of the spy and espionage stuff, and clearly me not doing a very good job of keeping up with these franchises,
horrible.
But very horrible. But it is like again, Mission Impossible 1, just for reference, is one of my favorites, and I know it's probably not as good as some of the others, but it's because of all the espionage that's going on. And I love that shit. Mm-hmm. And we've always wanted to know what happens in Budapest.
Yes,
they always talk about Budapest.
Always talking about Budapest.
And they've always hinted to her past and what's Black Widow, where did she come from, and all this stuff. And to me, that's intriguing. Like that's more depth that we didn't get. And finally, after all this time, we're getting some kind of backstory or whatever. And even though I don't know, I can't remember where this takes place. This takes place, I think, before either all the Infinity War and like somewhere in the area. Like she's already an Avenger, et cetera, et cetera.
Is that what I thought this was like prior to all that?
I could be wrong on that. I don't know. Prime, do you know that offhand? I guess I didn't really think about that. I swear I thought I read that it takes place in the middle of the MCU. Like she goes back and has to take care of this shit. Is it?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So some of it might be flashbacks to some of the stuff prior or whatever. But it's
more current.
So, yeah,
okay, interesting. Okay, I thought this was prior stuff.
Yeah, but this looks dope as shit. There he is. Fucking Dave Harbour.
Yes.
Red Guardian. The Russian version of Captain America, played by Dave Harbour. I mean, come on.
And he's in Russia.
Holy shit.
Stranger Things.
What?
Now we know he's alive. He's good. See, this is what he's been doing.
Season 4 spoiled.
This is Hopper.
Yeah, that's Hopper.
Wow, a
That's
Stranger
awesome.
Things MCU crossover.
That's all I've ever wanted in my life. Perfect.
Wow.
Well,
Unbelievable.
Shut it down. After Civil War? Okay. But man, this looks awesome, and it's got me very, very excited. The only thing I do have issue with, and it's very similar to a lot of people having issue with, is Taskmaster's look.
Yep.
Now, I'm not trying to be that guy.
I know.
But we're going to be a little bit of that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like fucking somebody decided to put Shredder's mask on a fucking motorcycle helmet. There's a fucking visor there. What the fuck are we doing here? Look at this. That's a pretty big difference, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck is going on there exactly?
Yeah, and you know, when I see that, and I see between the comparisons between what he was envisioned as in the comics and what have you, and then you see this live action version, I can't imagine somebody at Marvel going, well, he looks a little too crazy there on the left. He looks a little too comic-y. Look at fucking Mysterio. He had a fishbowl on his head in the last Spider-Man movie. So don't tell me about that's a little not not realism.
Yeah. Let's get more into
that's not an issue with
the
these.
Some stuff might not translate on the big screen, and I totally get that from the campy comic look. Mm-hmm. But this is something that to me just doesn't. I mean, the Crossbones looked fucking fine and just as well in Civil War. So why do you gotta fuck with this? Like, what the fuck is that? Is that like some like dollar store Power Ranger helmet there? What the fuck is that? That's almost embarrassing.
But then you mentioned too.
But yes, I did also mention that, a lot of times, we'll think of what happened with the Sonic thing.
Yep.
They put out this dumb-looking Sonic. Everybody freaked out, and they changed it. Now, there's a conversation to be had about our culture and the hate on everything and stuff like that, and it forced an entire studio to change. But I think there is a gray area where you can say there's some legitimacy behind what people... I mean, we got to be careful how far our expectations get, but I think there is some legitimacy in how some of that stuff translates or looks or whatever and what people want. Right. And that looks stupid. And maybe again, yes, here we come back is that Marvel a lot of times likes to throw people off.
Yep.
The Sonic thing, of course, the Sonic guys.
They didn't do it on purpose.
They said, oh, we just wanted to check kind of thing. Like, they were trying to walk it back. Like, get the fuck out of here. You walked it back so far, you made him look like Sonic. And I'll probably go see that movie. By the way, I'm gonna go see that movie.
I'll go see Sonic.
I'll take my kid to it, or maybe we'll go. Or
if we can see Jim Carrey go crazy as Dr. Robotnik,
I'm into it.
I'm all right with this.
So maybe they're fucking with us with this Taskmaster thing. Maybe when maybe somebody there's like, oh, hey, great job, you put a visor on him, and they're all giving like pats on the back, but. We see it, we're flipping out, so maybe they'll change it. Hopefully,
because I mean, we've also heard the stories about how, like in the Marvel trailers, they'll CGI out certain things. Like in I can't remember which Avengers movie it is, but they show the Hulk running with the whole group of guys.
He had the Hulk. Yeah, he was running, but they ended up having him in the Hulkbuster.
Yeah, so I mean, they kind of like do that stuff, but at the same time, I don't think they'd want to. I don't think that this would make sense here because of what we saw from Mysterio. I mean, if they really wanted to make that.
Cronus makes a good point too to go along with what you're saying.
Sonic was really.
They had up farther. They had Red Skull look like a skull. They didn't. It wasn't face paint.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
And that's a fucking mask. So you can't fucking come on.
Man, that girl right there, the blonde, Black Widow's sister, Florence Pugh.
Yeah,
she is in the movie Midsommar. She's an excellent actress. She is fucking really, really good in Midsommar. That's a show that's based around like a lot of cultism and dealing with mental trauma and whatnot and mental health. She is fantastic in Midsommar. She's a really good actress. I was really surprised that she was in this because my understanding is before this in Midsommar, she'd done a lot of indie work and a lot of I think she did a lot of work overseas. So like this to me, I think this is like her first big mainstream title. So really curious to see her. But she's a fantastic actress. She was really, really good in Midsommar. So yeah, and then Rachel Weisz.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it Weisz?
Rachel, I always thought it was Rachel Weisz.
Maybe whatever.
Which is interesting. She's actually married to Daniel Craig.
Did you plan that?
No. I actually just thought about that.
That's fucking weird. She was in the Mummy.
And she's the reason that Daniel Craig does not do a lot of his own stunts. He did a lot of his own stunts in Skyfall. Like he did that shit jumping on the train and stuff.
Really?
That's Daniel Craig. He did a lot of his own stunts, but then he got injured really bad in Spectre. And Rachel Weisz was like, I don't want him in agony ever like that again. So he had to really cut back on his stunt work in No Time to Die. So that's really interesting. But yeah, she's actually married to
interesting combination
little connection there. Husband and wife get their big trailers out this week.
And Prime, yes, I did mention that too. that is potential changes in the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's fucking hope so.
Yeah, let's hope so. I know you were most displeased.
I mean, a lot of people were really pissed about it. And
I mean, you were really pissed. You were like threatening people on Twitter.
I started 3 fights
for some reason.
today.
You went after Dave Harbour, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
I don't know. I want attention.
Yeah, it was really. You sent him nudes.
No, I did.
It was gross.
Yeah, he sent me nudes back.
He did. I saw
did.
it. He's blessed. All right, so. This looked really good though, and you know I want to talk about like what Prime mentioned in the chat, and you mentioned it earlier. I think the big thing we most want from this, we want them to focus on the espionage side of things. We want this to be more like a spy thriller, a spy movie, much like Captain America: Winter Soldier. Let's focus on that. Let's not try to make it threatening people over pop culture. That's old school. You can always count on Fanboy Tone to handle things non-maturely.
Dude, you guys just said my name is Fanboy, so kiss it.
Oh, there it is. See, it's in the name.
It's
in the name.
License to Fanboy.
Unbelievable. But yeah, no, I think they need to focus on the spy side of things, focus on the espionage side. Obviously, we saw some big set pieces that are gonna be going on.
Yeah, that sky scene where they're jumping out and doing shit like that.
Yeah, she's dodging shit in midair. I thought that was most impressive.
Yep. And don't get me wrong, like it's a big deal that a character like Taskmaster, I feel, is involved, and like because we were talking about it too, like he's an obscure-ish character, but he's bigger than more obscure characters, I feel. So I think it's one of those things where people are excited that he's involved. So it's something that I feel like Marvel kind of wants to do right or get right. So don't half-ass it then. Like, what's the fucking visor? Like, what are they trying to get us to like think about it differently? Like, and yeah, maybe it's a helmet over the mask. That's fine, but there's no hood prevalent. You know, there's nothing. It just seems kind of like a waste. He looks like some fucking Beetleborg or some bullshit fucking 90s kid show shit. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I have a question that may be off topic. Oh boy, Presto's got an off-topic question. Let's go.
You like the Beetleborg reference? Yeah, because he's a big fan. He's got a tattoo.
Beetleborg, bring it, Presto. What do you got, man? Yeah. I have a question.
Is it about VR troopers? Because I ain't got nothing.
I hope it's about Beetleborgs. Well, I hope it's about my cat.
Oh Jesus, that cat.
She's going hard right now.
That cat could grind.
So, what do you think about the Battle Pass of Modern Warfare? I looked at it the other day. I looked over. I like it. I have no issues with it. It's very similar to what I've seen in Destiny and everything else.
Pretty much how like Realm and all like Fortnite runs all these kind of battle passes, right?
Yeah. I don't seem to have too many issues with it. Presto, what do you think about it? I went through a couple levels and off topic, Digimon or Pokemon? Neither.
Digimon.
Yeah, I'm with you, Presto. I think it's a good battle pass. There's a lot of cool shit on there. There's some good weapons. There's some awesome skins. There's some really good like skins in there for some of the operatives. I think that looks really, really good.
I haven't looked over any of that stuff at all yet, but
I don't like Crash 24/7 though. Well, don't worry. I don't think that'll be there all the time. I think that's just because it's a new map and it's a popular map.
It's a Dave Matthews song, isn't it?
Crash into me.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, that's good. My off-topic fanboy. Or Chris Evans for America's Ass. Oh, Fanboy Tone for sure.
All day.
I can tell you right now because he's not wearing pants. Oh, I let everyone know. I guess now
Crack
you know.
Walnut.
And won't they? They said that's going to be 24/7 forever. I highly doubt that.
What?
I'll be shocked. I'm going to go ahead and say you read that wrong. I'll go check, but they have other maps that they're going to want to put on 24/7. I'd be shocked. This my Crash 24/7 is my favorite Bandicoot game. Yes, it's a great Bandicoot game. Very, very good. Yeah, this can be a long season. There'll be a lot to do. You'll be able to knock out a lot of that stuff.
Is it how many days ago for seasons?
60. This one is 60.
60 days. Okay,
that's what math.
Oh man,
2 months.
Of course they drop it right before Christmas.
Oh yeah,
so all these kids getting man, Slaughterfest. Your rankings fast, boys and girls.
So, yeah, I'm really excited about the Battle Pass. That and the Destiny 2 Pass starts on Tuesday next week. I'm going to be doing a lot. You know what's funny, man? Because I used to just shit on Battle Passes when it was a big thing in Fortnite. I think it was a big thing in some MOBAs. But I used to hear about Battle Passes. I always used to be like, man, I'm glad I don't have to do a Battle Pass in Destiny. Yeah, I'm glad I don't. Now I fucking love them.
And you're hooked.
Nah, I'm just completely hooked. I'm so full of shit. Do you have to buy it if you didn't get the deluxe? That I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. I have no idea if you have to buy it if you didn't get the deluxe. You have to find out. Log in and find out.
Is the $100 one the deluxe? That's the deluxe, right?
I think it's the deluxe. I think it is. Might have to buy it. Who knows? All right. Last thing we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Is something that you went and saw.
Yes, I did.
This is something that you talked about. I know it's not something we talked about a lot in the last episode.
Right.
But it's something you mentioned to me, like, I really want to go see this because it means a lot to you. And I should see it because he was an integral part of my childhood growing up.
Yeah.
I watched him all the time. So let's talk a little bit about Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Yeah.
Let's hear it, man.
So growing up in the rural areas of Michigan, we did not have cable TV. We didn't have anything, right? I think the first time, like, my grandparents had satellite, but they lived like 4 or 5 miles away. Like, I'm a kid at home. It's a Friday night, Saturday night, whatever, nothing to do. You know, we had 4 fucking channels.
Right.
That's it. And I watched and grew up on a lot of PBS. I watched a fuck ton of PBS. After school, if anybody remembers, was it Squares or Math Squares or something like that. Don't forget Carmen Sandiego. Watched a fuck ton of that.
Yep.
So I watched a lot of PBS. I grew up on a lot of Sesame Street. I grew up on a fuck ton of Mr. Rogers.
Right.
And I remember there's a few specific episodes that really that I'll never forget. The big one was, of course, and no shock here, was when he went and checked out the set of the TV show Hulk.
Yep.
I'll never forget that because they had the biplane in the fucking garage and all this crazy shit. You know, so and I was always tight. I loved that show because it was the Hulk, you know, whatever. You know, I was an angry kid or whatever, so it was easy for me to really have an affiliation with. But I don't know, like, I watched a ton of it. Maybe it was the fact, like, I was into G.I. Joes and those kind of toy sets, but, like, you know, all the make-believe stuff, he had the toy sets of them too.
Right.
That always enthralled me. The trolley, like, everything about it, like, spoke to me. And I don't know whether or not I didn't realize how much he actually affected me personally without knowing it until I saw the fucking movie.
Right.
But, you know, he dealt with a lot of child emotions, and that was the whole point of the show he was doing, how to handle death, how to handle sadness, how to handle anger, everything. And, you know, I'm sitting there in the theater, and it's hard right now for me to make the time and to do stuff like this. And I went by myself in the middle of the day on a Monday to see the movie. And I got to tell you, it wasn't very packed at all. It was probably 20 of us. All ages, all races. Like, I'm serious. Like, it was a very big variety, and that's how you know that he was that kind of person, right?
He had a lot of reach.
I can tell you, and everybody honestly, and some of you may have heard this and maybe not, because not a lot of you have, I have never been that emotional in a movie my entire life. I was literally, like, I was using napkins to try and stop the tears. And, like, whoa, I read some things, like some stuff written about it afterwards, because people were asking prior to seeing it, like, is this going to make me cry? Because, like, I know the documentary they did on him a few years back even, too, that I actually oddly never even saw. They said that there's potential for that. And somebody was like, it's kind of one of those movies where it really could.
Right.
You know, it's going to be different for everybody's perception. And I cried during Human Centipede. That's good. But when I was there, I'll be honest with you, like, I had my hoodie up most of the time.
Yeah. Hiding them tears.
Oh, I would, because I had people down. I was sitting in my normal seat, and I was just like, and there were times like I would just start, like, somewhere in me, a switch would happen, and I would just start, like, tearing up or welling up, and it would be just a normal scene of him talking to, because this is based on I think of his last name, Tom something. They changed the name of the actual article, but it was written for Esquire in like 98 or whatever. And I remember the magazine actually too. And this guy had a terrible life. You know, he had a lot of anger issues, had issues with his father. Exactly. And, you know, he starts talking to Fred, and at first he's like, this is bullshit. This guy's trying to, like, he actually brought the puppets to one of their meetings and tried to, like, pull it out of him.
Wow.
Because they even said it, like, one of his like, his manager said something like, Fred really likes people like you. And he's, what do you mean? People that he's got to work on, you know? And by the end of the fucking movie, everything's different. Like, this dude, like, connects with his family again and everything.
Right. And,
like, you hear the guy even talk about it now. It's you read some of his, or watch some of these interviews of him even now about his experience with him and how it literally changed his life. Literally. And I'll be honest with you, like, so I can't say, like, he was some big, like, I don't know, like, he didn't change my life necessarily, but after seeing the movie and the way I react to it, I can't help think if subconsciously somehow all the things that he was doing for everybody actually affected me, and I didn't even fucking realize it. And here I am in a movie theater, 40 fucking years old, and I'm in fucking tears probably for half the movie. And I don't know if that's not powerful for anybody. Like, I dare anybody that grew up on to go see that and try not to. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's because Tom is he doesn't really look like Fred necessarily. He's a little bit more husky and
but when you think of Tom Hanks, you think of somebody like Fred Rogers because he's got that. He's a guy that everyone can connect with.
Tom is that kind of actor who can definitely kind of just do that.
He's got that soft, sincere, endearing type of personality.
He just did that, and I'll be honest with you, like it blew my mind. I came out of there and like it affected me all day. I was literally affected by that movie all day, and I definitely did not expect that at all. I just wanted to go pay homage to, and he didn't like being called a hero or a saint.
Right.
He didn't like that. He didn't really care for that stuff at all because, like, even his wife says, you can't call him a saint because that shows that saints are perfect. Well, he's not a perfect human.
Right.
Even he has, anger issues that he works on and stuff like that.
I'm trying to think of some of the movies that have really just brought me to tears before. No, not Human Centipede. But Tom Hanks movie, Saving Private Ryan. That movie got me all fucked up at the theater.
But the difference in that kind of stuff is it's like certain instances and scenes.
Mm-hmm.
This was like, because I get that, and I'm not disputing that at all, but this was different for me. This
because this is hitting you in your childhood.
This was like a tie-in. Like, yeah. It's like I haven't probably watched an actual Mr. Rogers episode in 20 years, right?
It's more subconscious because it's something that you remember vividly in the past, but it's maybe something that you haven't thought about before. But everything just comes to the forefront. Everything comes rushing back.
And I had
like,
no idea and no control of it.
Right.
Like at all. It's like when you go to like, it's honestly sometimes when I go to a funeral, like I deal with death differently than other people do. Mm-hmm. I think I'm more of a realist with it. I've been doing it for so long in my life.
Yeah.
And, like sometimes I can make them through fine. And sometimes there'll be instances where it snaps like that and you can't control it. And it was kind of like that, like certain scenes and how he was interacting and like with this angry reporter and certain stuff he was doing was just like, it was literally like a switch. It was snapping me, and I didn't know how to. I couldn't control it. I could not control it. I could not stop myself.
It's wild.
It is wild. It's weird. It's just not what I expected. So, and then to come to find out, and this is the big news I was talking to, and you didn't realize this either. I don't know all the details and how it came about, but his parent Tom Hanks is like a sixth cousin relation to Fred Rogers, and I think it's
fucking wild.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy because he channels him completely.
No, I mean, I obviously haven't seen the movie, but when I saw the trailers, I was like, he got all the mannerisms down.
Yeah,
he's got all the little bit things down on it, and the guy's just a hell of an actor.
Even at the beginning, like I was grinning like crazy, even at the beginning, because the interesting way they tell the movie is they tell the movie like it's an episode of Mr. Rogers.
Oh, do they really?
To a degree, yeah. It's kind of, so that was kind of cool. So at the beginning when he's doing the button up and the zip it up of the cardigan, and then he flips the shoe over, and I'm like, God damn it, that was fucking perfect.
All the little things.
Yeah, it was fucking perfect. I'm like, he nailed that. That's mind blowing. So yeah, there it is, everybody. I cried like a
man. Look at everyone's got they're listing their shit in the title in other movies that
All
made them
Dogs
cry.
Go to Heaven.
Do I tell you what? The one movie that hit me harder than a motherfucker was My Life with Michael Keaton. Did you ever see that one?
No.
Dude, he has like cancer or something like that, and he finds out he's gonna die, but his wife, I think it's Nicole Kidman, is pregnant, and he's not going to be around when the baby is born.
Oof. And
he starts making all these videos of like how to shave and doing all these things so he can pass on that knowledge to his kid. And at the end, dude, I remember, man, it was like 5 o'clock on a Tuesday after school, and I'm sitting at home watching it. My mom comes out of the bedroom. I'm just like, I mean, I am sobbing because he dies at the end. You're just like, oh my God, I'm so sad. I mean, it was so sad. So I mean, My Life hit me hard. I'm not gonna lie. Philadelphia with Tom Hanks.
Another Tom.
That shit at the end when he's laying there and he takes off the mask and he's like, I'm ready, dude. I was bawling.
Wow.
Balling. I mean, that movie made me cry.
Jerry Maguire got me.
Jerry Maguire.
Jerry. Actually, matter of fact, it was when Cuba Gooding Jr. when he I think it was when he got the touchdown, won the game or whatever it was. He came out in the back.
He wakes up and he's all dancing and he's
he's just looking for Jerry. He's like, he just wanted to look for Jerry, and like they're both like emotional. I'm like, I'm fucking crying.
Oh, when is it Atreyu that died or Artax? Artax the horse.
Yeah,
Artax the horse dies. Yep.
Yeah.
Philadelphia was sad. There was one more I wanted to mention that really just brought me to tears. Sixth Sense. At the end when he yeah. If you haven't seen it, then that's your fucking problem. But yeah, when he's sitting there and that video's playing, and he's like talking to her, he goes, everything's fine now, and all this stuff. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, man, I can't fucking take it. I mean, I was just, I can be very emotional. I'm trying to remember the movie I just watched recently. We watched probably about 6 months ago with the kid. who has kind of like the disfigured face. It's got Owen Wilson as the dad, Julia Roberts is the mom. Anyone know the movie I'm talking about? The little kid. Yeah, Augie's the kid's name, but I can't remember the name of the movie. But it is Augie. That's the kid's. It's not. I don't think it's Miracle or something. It's not Miracle.
I cried Endgame too.
That's fair. Wonder. There you go. Wonder. Yes, Wonder was really, really, really sad
Wonder,
too.
That's a good. Rocket Man was actually. I'll be honest. I finally watched that.
I didn't watch Rocket Man. Is that pretty good?
Holy shit!
Where would you say, Rocket Man, or what's the Freddie Mercury one?
Oh, definitely Freddie Mercury all day.
Freddie Mercury one. Okay.
That movie was pretty emotional too for me. I'll be honest. But
was it really?
There's never been a movie that has done what Beautiful Life or Beautiful Day did to me though.
Oh.
No movie even came close. Like I'm trying to think here as we're listening to all these kind of movies. I just can't stop thinking of like that. Like half a movie, I was sitting there, fucking nearly bawling.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird.
I see all these movies. Oh, actually, March, you mentioned Miracle. That movie's actually got, so you can bring it, the one with Kurt Russell where he coaches the USA team.
Yeah,
the ending is pretty powerful too. So Miracle. I know that's not what she was talking about. But Miracle. Pay It
Young
Forward. That's
Haley
with Haley Joel Osment,
and
Kevin Spacey before he was a creeper.
Helen Hunt?
I think it is Helen Hunt.
Yeah, no, he was definitely a creeper then too.
No, there's Joe Dirt. Man, you can always count on Prime to keep a conversation going.
Absolutely. Yeah, see, they think Rocket Man is better. I think Rocket Man probably is probably a better movie, and it was very and both those movies are really good. And I probably shouldn't compare them, but I just think I have more of affinity to Queen, so like it was more of a connection for me. But
gotcha.
This was a sweet mouth.
No, I'll get on the Prime Gaming wagon here. I'll say one of the saddest movies was Chairman of the Board with Carrot Top. Boy, man, that one just brought me to tears.
Encino Man.
Encino Man.
I cried for his career after that. That's why.
Yeah. I love Chairman of the Board because, I'm sorry, we'll wrap it up here in a second, but Chairman of the Board was so funny. It was so bad with Carrot Top that it started, the girl in it was Courtney Thorne-Smith. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she was actually in Revenge of the Nerds too. She's the blonde.
Okay, yeah, I know.
And there's a scene where him and Courtney Thorne-Smith are walking through like this area, and something pops up on the wall, and he's like, "Hey, Courtney, look!" He calls her by her real life name, and they don't edit it out. Not her name in the movie, her real life. He's like, "Hey, Courtney, look." And you're like, "Did you just fucking say her real name?" And they didn't edit it out. It just left it. I was like, okay, I guess we're just fuck it, right? Yeah, Chairman of the Board with Carrot Top is, you want to waste a good hour and a half of your life that you never ever want back, go ahead and watch Chairman of the Board. It doesn't surprise me that Cappadocian likes that movie.
Oh, it's definitely. He's probably modeled his whole life after.
He probably has the collector's edition, the steel book. You know, he's got
collector's edition came with like a wig,
unedited cut. Yeah, he's got all that shit. So
you know it.
The greatest game ever played is one of the most epic crime. Is the greatest game? That's the. Is that the golf one? Or no? Is it the golf one with Will Smith and Matt Damon? Or am I thinking of something else? Because I think that's a different. Okay, yeah, I knew that. Yeah, that's not it.
Does he all carry? Well, yeah, at the end of
it. Batman vs Superman made me cry. Jesus Christ.
Well, the wise guys are out tonight. We like the wise guys, though.
Mighty Ducks, too? Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, yeah. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Boy, I was really balling at the end of that one. All right, that's it. We're going to wrap up this stream. Before we get Legend of Bagger Vance, that's the one I'm thinking of, Rock Mercury. That's actually a good flick, too.
Actually, you know what? Renaissance Man. That was a good one, too. I don't know what about that one. That one was, you ever see that? Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito. I think that's from like the early 90s, isn't it?
Yes, and I just realized now the second movie that gets me the most emotional after this now, Dead Poet Society, fucks me every time.
Ooh, no, God, I can do this all fucking day. This is a rabbit
hole. That's
a rabbit hole. We can do this all day, but Good Will Hunting at the end.
Oh yeah, fuck
where he's like, don't fuck with me. Yeah. Because he's acting all hard for a second, and Robin Williams, obviously one of the greats, he's like, Will, not your fault. And he's he's just standing there like he's a hard ass, he's Will. He's like, Will, it's not your fault. And he shoves him. He's like, fuck with me. He starts tuning up, and you're just like, "Oh man, here we go."
Yeah, man.
Here we go.
Dead Poets.
The dude was crying to dude. Hey, man, I cried to fucking not Wall-E, but Up. Did you ever see Up? Beginning.
I didn't.
The beginning of Up. The beginning of Up, where the old man loses his wife. Like he's old. They have like see, Cappadocia knows what I'm talking about, dude. The beginning of Up is so fucking sick.
They do that at the beginning though,
dude. The first 10 minutes, me and my wife were like. I mean, it was sad. But, I mean, that's just Pixar just knows what they're doing. Yes, Rocketman, everybody knows the first 10 minutes of Up will have you in tears.
Well, fuck.
It's so good. It's so good.
Seen Up.
Yeah, the whole movie is built on sadness, of dealing with like loss and whatnot, and it's
fair.
It's a great movie. Up is awesome, but the end of Toy Story 3. Yes, dude. When they're all sitting in the trash compactor.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I tell you, these people have not seen Toy Story 3.
I haven't.
I don't trust you.
Yeah,
but I know exactly the scene you're talking about. You haven't seen Toy Story 3?
No.
Jesus Christ. There is a scene that like it's so unexpected. Like it's not even the ending. There's something that happens just before the ending where you're just like, wow. Like
I know the ending and everything too. Is like
it's like it's not the ending. It's before it's stuff that happens to. I haven't seen 4 yet. We actually just bought it. We're gonna watch it this weekend.
Yeah.
I haven't seen 4 yet. I heard 4 is actually not bad.
I don't know. Some of the Pixar movies, like Toy Story, for me is very. I've seen the first 2 and I like them. It's not that I dislike them. They never.
3 is incredible. That's
what everybody says, and I don't know what it is about them. Like I get into some of them. I get crazy about Monsters Inc., Wreck-It Ralph's, WALL-E. WALL-E's fucking incredible.
Great. Yep. Elder Guitar. Yep. WALL-E is awesome.
No, but I don't know. Some of them I just don't really.
I haven't seen Good Dinosaur. My wife speaks highly of that one. She says Good Dinosaur is good.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Is that Pixar? I'm pretty sure it's Pixar because it's on. Pixar does all Disney, right?
Pixar, it's weird. There's a weird relationship with Disney and Pixar. I don't think
Disney. I'm pretty sure it's on Disney Plus,
but it's probably on Disney Plus.
It's on Disney Plus. It's definitely a Disney joint.
Yeah.
And you know what? A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about The Land Before Time and how there was like a weird thing where, Brave Little Toaster. This Brave Little Toaster, everyone's like, no, the first one wasn't done by Disney. If you go on Disney Plus, the first one's not on there, but the other ones are.
Right, I think Evan or somebody said it.
Evan was the one that mentioned it.
That it is Disney. It was just done under their other
under a different label, but it's not on Disney Plus. All the other,
I thought it was.
The sequels are the Brave Little Toaster, like 2 and 3, but the first one's not on there. It's so weird.
Well, that's
weird.
That's new. Okay,
it's a rare flop from Pixar. What was a rare flop? WALL-E?
I think he's talking about Dinosaur or whatever he said.
Oh, The Last Dinosaur. Or The Good Dinosaur, whatever it's called.
The Last Mohicans.
Oh, yeah. Finish it. Man, I'm already like 2 down. I was ready to drink yours. All right. But anyways, that's going to do it for this edition of Banter and Babble. Now, the next episode, we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Because that's obviously the week of Star Wars. That's when Rise of Skywalker comes out. Plan is, if all else fails, Wednesday night. But maybe a Friday.
Maybe we'll do a small one Friday or do another one on Friday because that'll be one of the last ones we'll do for a few weeks.
Yeah, for the
holidays.
Year. So we might do one on Friday night to kind of talk about Star Wars.
And get those reactions.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of discussion there. So hopefully, obviously, if you haven't seen it, don't watch that episode until you have seen it. But I have a feeling most of the people in the chat, if they're Star Wars fans, they're going to be going to see it the first couple nights. And if not, tune in maybe Saturday or watch it on YouTube. But yeah, we might do 2 episodes that week. We might do one Wednesday to touch on, because we might be going to see Uncut Gems next week. And there's a possibility we might go see that, depending on schedules.
And you got to get caught up on Watchmen.
Watchmen is the other one.
I really want to talk about Watchmen. The last episode will be done before we do on the 18th.
Okay, so I'll get caught up on Watchmen.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
We'll talk about Watchmen. We're going to talk about whatever else we can.
Irishman, maybe.
Ooh, I'll be watching. And then I will have watched It Chapter 2 by then too as well. So we'll have a lot of movie stuff to talk about next time. But next week or the next episode, there might be 2 that week, depending on how Friday night pans out. Might do a little Star Wars recap. Yeah. Talk a little bit. We won't go heavy on spoilers, but maybe we will because
fuck you.
The last time we're going to talk for the year. So, but hey, seriously, first and foremost, thank you so fucking much to everybody in the chat.
Yeah, appreciate
you. Chat was rocking tonight. This honest to God, dude, this is the reason why you and I did this, because obviously you and I like talking, but to have you guys and girls in the chat, fucking awesome.
Yep, we appreciate it.
It's seriously, there's a lot of good laughs. There's a lot of good comments being made. I apologize for Prime Gaming, but it's just been an awesome experience so far, especially when all of you show up. It really means the world to us. Yeah, exactly. Fuck that guy. No, I'm just kidding.
If we can ask one thing of you, if you ever get any time, just find us on social media. share us, get us out there. We want more people in here to get the conversation going. The more, the merrier.
And if you have iOS devices, go over to iTunes. You don't even have to write a review. Just throw up a review. Give us 5 stars if you like the show. Any kind of like little thing like that helps get us exposure, and we want to be able to talk to as many people as possible. It's the reason we do this. We just want to get people like you in the chat to talk about the things that we love: movies, games, TV shows, whatever.
And if you got topics, let us know.
Seriously.
You want us to talk about something?
Yeah, you got us on Twitter, you got us on Facebook, you got us on Instagram. If there's shit you want to talk about, or if there's shit you want us to talk about, boom, send it to us. Let us know. We can adjust everything. We can make it the prime topic, whatever you want to do.
Right.
We just really, really, really appreciate your support. It keeps us going, and we love interacting and talking with all of you. It's honestly the main reason we got in this, is just to be able to talk to people. Yeah. And we're working on the news. Like I said, that'll be a Patreon thing. It'll be the top
B&B
tier.
After Dark.
B&B AD. That's got a nice ring to it.
Bad.
BBAD.
There you go.
Bad.
Bad.
Yeah. Bad. That's awesome. BB After Dark. I like that a lot. That's really, really hot.
I'm into it.
But seriously, thank you so much, you guys. Really, really appreciate everybody showing up. Again, 2 weeks from now, the 18th, I believe, is...
It'll be the 18th. It'll be the night before Star Wars.
The night before Star Wars, and then possibly something else after on Friday, after Star Wars, to kind of talk about that as our kind of a year-end wrap-up, and then we'll take a little bit of a break through the holidays. So if you can't watch this live, again, it'll be available on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Facebook,
Google, everything
Google
Friday.
Play, everything on Friday morning. It'll be available to watch. And again, like Tone said, man, any shares or bring your friends in. If you want to bring a friend to the show, bring him in, dude. We'd love to get everybody involved, get everyone talking. So thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you. For Fanboy Tone, I'm the Dude 79. We're a part of the Tater Tot Boys, streaming right here on Mixer. See you guys in 2 weeks. Have a great night.
Yeah.